I'm Virginia McLemore. I am a senior economic geologist. Actually, my position title is now lead research scientist, but I've been studying economic geology all of my life. The economic geology is the study of mineral deposits. In this case, looking at uranium, we study how they form, how you can mine them, how you can reclaim them, and what they're used for. I work for the New Mexico Bureau of Geology and Mineral Resources at New Mexico Tech in Socorro, New Mexico, and I've been there all of my adult career since 1980. I do have some experience in the oil industry as well as in the uranium industry. I got my PhD from University of Texas at El Paso and my bachelor's and master's from New Mexico Tech. I started out my career in uranium as a uranium geologist with the Bureau, and I heard about this conference. Well, actually, I was asked about it and asked to speak, so I contacted everybody, and here I am. So, but I have studied the economic resources in New Mexico for uranium, and also been looking at uranium in mine waste and uranium in the deposits. So I start the supply chain here in the state. What I like about this conference as opposed to a lot of others is that we have been bringing in some technical aspects in it, certainly, but it's bringing in all of the stakeholders together. And so we are hearing from those folks that are not embracing nuclear power. They probably never will, but at least they are hearing what we're saying and we're hearing what they're saying. So it's important. The state of New Mexico has to decide if we're going to be a leader and not only looking at uranium resources, but the method of how we're going to extract uranium will actually be a guide on how we extract other commodities in the new way of doing the new mine of the future, the way we actually extract other commodities elsewhere. It's looking at more and more in situ recovery. And that's because, society doesn't want the open pits and the underground mines that we have. But society still wants the cameras we have here, your cell phones, your cars, all the things that make our lives what we enjoy, but they have to come from resources. But now we have to find different ways of getting those resources. And of course, uranium provides the electricity to make sure we have all of those resources. We need to educate everybody. I mean, I need to be more educated on tribal relations and how the tribes feel because they have their perspective. But we also need to hear from the other communities. There are members in the communities that really do want the jobs. They want to see jobs to keep their kids here, and we've got to listen to them. And so, right now, having a stage where industry gets to bring in their perspective, communities, the tribals, but also, it'd be good. I understand tomorrow we're going to bring in some of the young people, some of the students, and we'll hear about some of their experiences and what they think. Awesome. So New Mexico can be the leader, and it's like all of my training and everything I've done in my career has led me to this point, even in uranium geology, and the fact that there's excitement. We know we need resources. Society's starting to recognize this with all of the information about critical minerals. And so people are starting to realize where the world comes from. And it involves mining, whether we like it or not. And so being able to bring all these people together and start in the uranium industry, not only can we set the stage and set the standard on how we mine uranium in the world, but like I said, I think that this type of recovery that we're looking at for uranium can be used in other types of commodities. So at the end, we're going to make the world better. And I do want my grandchildren and great grandchildren to have a better life than what I have. And I've had to work hard for the life I have. So it's all about our standard of living and how we get there. But how do we keep the landscapes from being destroyed? So it is a balance. And we've got to start with these kinds of conversations. And this conference has brought a lot of those folks together. In one word, I can't say anything in one word. In two words, I will say that this conference is exciting and innovative. So it's exciting in that people are being engaged. Industry certainly is putting in funding to bring up and to try to develop these resources. They're trying to develop in the right way, the way they should have been done in the past. And at the same time, it's innovative because we are looking at new technologies and new ways of doing things, not only on the technology side, but also new ways in engaging the stakeholders, the people that live here, and to trying to make sure that our world gets to be better. I am about ready to retire Probably not for another 5 years or more, but I will be retiring very soon, and I'm looking forward to that, sort of. But what I'm finding that is kind of exciting is that, especially at this conference, there's a lot of middle age and younger people that are coming into this industry in all kinds of fields, and they are ready to tackle it. They are fairly well trained, they're starting to get the experience, and so I have hope for the future.